Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Makara. I don't know who needs to hear this message today, but I've been exploring the idea of a different brand of astrology, I guess you could call it, where you take these little haikus, these channeled haikus by these certain psychics. If you want to know more about that, obviously, you got to join the Pathworking, okay, the mystery school. However, I'm just letting you know from this angle, from this understanding, it said fairy and in brackets nature spirit, which I thought was very interesting how mine included fairies and Ryan's included mermaid. Because we've been talking about this forever, and then these supposed channelers come along and create their own kind of, almost like a tarot deck in a sense, where each degree of the astrology is a different phrase. But irregardless, today I want to talk about how you can remain the Soveriegn Sage in any situation. What is the Soveriegn Sage? We talk about the idea on this channel of being the priest beast, which means you're highly integrated with your lower and higher chakras, and you are a mirror, a flowing reflection of your theme of your own reality, okay? You have a theme and a team, is what we always say. So once you have your spiritual team of guides and you have a theme of your life, you can move forward with grace. Now, let's say you're in a tough situation right now. You're going through something. Let's say that a girl that you really like is bragging to you, okay, that she slept with someone else in front of you, right? And it's making you cringe and it's making you go inwards. How do you handle yourself as the Soveriegn Sage in this situation? Well, I understand that it's not about me. That's number one. The identity or the I that I'm associating with that persona that's reacting to that experience right now is not me. That's the false version of me that wants to get jealous, that wants to lash out, that wants to kind of, you know, put it under the surface or remain masculine or whatever, or look cool in front of her. Whatever, all of these are just persona glitches, right? Different options where the persona can take it. But then there's your soul response, where the I doesn't really exist, and you're just thinking, okay, she's just talking about her experience with this guy. It has nothing to do with me, right? And you slowly start to understand that, okay, I actually want what's best for her, right? If she was meant to do that and not be with me, then by all means go ahead, right? But there's a divine guidance and a signature to all of this. Maybe this is just the universe protecting me from something, okay? So you really want to start to have hope and see yourself in the highest light. Oftentimes how you heal a relationship with somebody else is you see them at their highest light. Which means if you imagine a halo around their head, them surrounded by all of their friends, them celebrating, you know, in a really good mood, you change the lens with which you see them, therefore changing your reality with them. I mean, really, this is very, very powerful. This is the ability to transmute anything back to love and melt the other person with your love, right? And that's what you really need to do in relationships. There's a little bird outside my window just then, and that's greater sign, okay? So I've been getting way too many synchronicities now, and I know I'm going down into a dark night of the soul kind of moment right now, where one of my lower subpersonal chakra beings want to reveal themselves and their name. So tomorrow night we're going to be channeling a specific being, and then we're gonna get more downloads, okay? We've been tapping into, or I've been, I should say. So I've been tapping into Ogmios's energy, and Ogmios basically gave me this technique that I'm about to share with you guys. So I want to give him the credit. He's the god of binding, okay? He's very good at copywriting, wordplay, just word magic, word alchemy, and so forth. He's the top guy that I go to for that, okay? And what he suggested is to transmute everything back into love, because once it dissolves back into love, it's a part of you. Like it's part of the unity again, right? And it's going to serve you better. So that's why forgiveness is so important towards yourself and others, okay? That's why staying grateful is so important, okay? Because you are in that gratitude, which tells you that you are okay. It reminds you of your worth, right? It reminds you you're okay. It reminds you deserve these gifts that you actually currently have, okay? So putting yourself in this mood is really, really key. So looking at yourself in the mirror, just being like, man, I love you, bro. You've made me go through so many of these things, and I just have to appreciate, how far we've come. Really give ourselves that acknowledgement. And no matter what issues I've gone through this week, this day, this month, whatever, it doesn't take away from that, and I really just want to forgive anybody that I've been holding grudges for, because those grudges are no more needed. They're no longer needed. They're just taking up excess storage room, right? And so this is how I'm speaking to myself oftentimes. It's with a compassion, it's with a kindness, and the ability to take any negative situation that has happened and seeing it from the perception of love to dissolve it back into its natural order of things, okay? Because the higher energies are always going to inspire the lower energies, okay? So if someone's higher up in a state of consciousness, we're always going to be more drawn to them. This is why, spiritual leaders, for instance, have a lot of followers and so forth. I mean, a lot of the times you just need to go for a walk, right? Like, that's the solution for a lot of things. But why does going for a walk work? Because you're taking your mind off of the issue and you're actually becoming mindful again and conscious again. You're actually turning online your flow state code, right? And you're in this low grade flow state. So there's flow state, intuition, channeling, okay? So this is what I cover on all these three matrices. But I understand that flow state is the bridge, it's the spark, it's the gnosis, right? It's what gets you to understand that there's something greater out there, that I have not fully met my utmost capacity or ability yet. There's more for me to do here. There's some level of mastery to attain here, right? And that gives you almost like this fuel, right? This launch pad effect that you want to give yourself in those moments when you're accessing your peak performance, right? When you're beating your PR or you're going past something that you never thought you could, right? Or suddenly a genius chorus just plops into your head, right? Has this ever happened to you? Like these little aha moments or these epiphany moments. The reality is, if you want something, you don't get it. But if you create the opposite of that polarity, you oftentimes magnetize that thing. So if you fall in love with being alone, you will magnetize a partner. You get what I mean? Like, but that's really got to come from a sense of independence and self-autonomy, right? Like a sense of, I know my I. I'm not seeking my I in another woman or somebody else, right? I know my identity. And so imagine a relationship where two whole people are meeting together. Again, it's not two people, leaning on each other so much that there's always this tug of war happening, okay? But more so, it's like two birds just dancing together, creating their nest, creating their energies, emanating it across the planet. They start to broadcast themselves differently now as their powers have combined with synergy. Not this weird polarity flip of like, oh, I need to survive, I need to be the one who makes decisions in this relationship, and then the woman doesn't want to be there and the man doesn't want to be there either, and there's this weird collapse of power in a sense, right? So how do you get your power back? You remain in your authentic masculine frequency. If you're a man, you remain in your manliness, right? You remain in your sense of, okay, I know there's certain things that I can't control right now. I've got to control what I can. I've got to move forward. I have to have this ability, this survival mentality, right? And for a woman, she's also testing your survival, right? Like if a bank robber came with a gun to your head, right? She's more attracted to the bank robber. Why? Because he is in survival mode more than you, right? You are actually limiting your chances of survival, right? And so this is what is important to understand is, can you have love for that experience? Can you have love for that bank robber? Can you have love for this woman who likes this bank robber instead of you? Can you appreciate, that this is actually a facet of nature and I don't need to worry about that actually? Okay? I need to focus on what I can control, what I'm coming back to. Regardless, it's all pain, right? Because if you're spending your energy or you're taking action doing anything, that's some level of pain associated with that, right? It's a struggle, it's a push, it's a whatever, right? Now, if you put yourself in pain, you'll notice this mild pleasure that takes over. Okay, let's say I take a cold shower, I do some push-ups, right? Let's say that I lift heavy in the gym. I did that the other day, right? Leg day. It was tremendously painful. Okay, I don't know why anybody would gladly do that. Okay, no way. Okay, couldn't walk straight. That's how you know you had a good workout. Okay, they had to stroll me out of a wheelchair almost. No, I'm just playing, not that level, but you guys know, right? That level. So when I did that, now today I feel like this very engaged type of energy. Okay, I feel a very interesting type of energy in my lower body, and I'm holding my lower body very differently, and my hip flexors are a lot more open too, which is very interesting. But I've also been listening to a lot of music that activates that, and I've been moving around and doing a bit of stretching too. So that's another key point here, which is your mind affects your body affects your mind. So you got to be noticing what your body is doing, okay, and how you're speaking to it. This morning I had a certain cough or whatever. I took some homeopathic medicine or some remedy for that, and it just went away in like a minute. Okay, so these medicines, these different things that you're currently going through, they're so powerful, man. But it's just like you have to know how to use them. And the Soveriegn Sage is the one who just stands, inside of the temple, okay, or on top of the mountain, right? So once you understand this frequency or this energy, you can now zoom out, or you can go inwards a lot, right, and come from the heart. And once you take that energy of I'm going to melt you in your love, it can do wonders for you. I mean, the greatest example is from the book Way of the Superior Man, this one right here, right, by David Data. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. I recommend this to any man watching. It's a very powerful book in understanding that polarity dynamics between man and woman, right, male and female. And I think it's very, very key, and it needs to be talked about more, actually. And I mean, yeah, there's other schools out there, that stem from those polarity teachings. However, but you have to really live this, man. You have to understand this through your own life, like what's really going on, right? So the idea in the book was, husband comes back from work, he got a promotion, he wants to celebrate with his wife is out of it, in a different mood. And she goes, "Oh, that's great, honey, but did you take out the trash?" Right? Which is such a regular, we would imagine that in a sitcom or something, right? But this happens, guys, right? And so she's more concerned with the trash than him, and he feels unacknowledged, whatever it is, right? He might feel rage, he might feel angry in that moment. Now he has two choices. One is to argue and get angry and be bitter and butthurt, which is most people's response, actually. The other one is melt her with your love. There is a storage unit of love in your system that you haven't tapped into. It's unprocessed. It remains just kind of like glue or mucus, kind of stuck there, unable to express itself through the moment. Someone's pissing you off, you say, "Thank you for your expression. I appreciate that you aren't trying to bullshit me, that you're speaking your truth." Right on, right? Fist bump. That's a different energy, and you're remaining in your Soveriegn Sage power in that, right? As opposed to, "What are you talking about?" Right? And resisting against the thing. So this is almost a Kung Fu Panda. But you take this kind of Kung Fu approach. If you take whatever, and then you sort of transform it, and then you give it back. Like, you're turning whatever she's saying into gold. Okay? The Midas touch, as we can call it. In that particular example, "Oh yeah, but did you take out the trash?" Right? Now the guy who's going to melt her with her love is going to go, "I'll take out the trash, all right, baby." Different response, right? Filled with love, seduction, mystery, okay? And he kisses her on the third eye, takes out the trash, comes back, wins, celebrates his promotion. Now, I would much rather choose that reality than the earlier one, where I start getting reactive and butthurt and, whatever. It's not about me, right? So that's the thing. You gotta stop. Number one, stop taking it personally. Number two, whatever the experience is, let it be. Number three, melt it with your love, whatever the moment is. Just remain open. Don't close your body up. Don't constrict. Be brave. Okay? The more you can breathe deeper from your belly and remain present during the chaos, you're in that yang frequency, that energy of presence of Shiva. And no matter any level of Shakti that comes to throw you off, you remain centered. Okay? You're not centered towards, I'm clinging to my bank account. I'm clinging to my family's name. Okay, I'm clinging to this. No. I remain centered within my soul, my presence, my eternal soul, my character that evolved up till this date, but also over time. Okay? All those old archetypical ideas are still in my mind, right? Coming back through this present moment, through these experiences and these videos. So the pain-pleasure principle means you putting yourself into some level of suffering and then resting really well, right? Really taking care of your body and your mind during that process when you're resting. And not giving yourself all these micro stimulations, If you're resting, really rest. Okay, don't kind of scroll your phone and then, look around and try to find entertainment or something to do. Stop trying to find things to do. That's the thing. That's how you remain in your power. You have to stop trying to find things to do and remain in who you are being right now. Who do I need to be my best self right now? Shh, and you relax into that, okay? I love the shh noise because it reminds me of almost like a silencing of the mind. Like, how you say shh in the library to keep it down or whatever, or in the movie theater when someone's too loud. Shh, right? So that noise, I use that in my breath work to remind myself to remain calm, remain centered, but also remain quiet. I don't need to unnecessarily exert energy into some level of communication where I have to over-explain myself or give so much of myself to somebody else. They can find out later, right? I know a lot of people, they don't know me in the first time meeting me. They don't. It's only after a really long time they get to know, oh wait, you used to record music, or you have published books? Like what? Right? And so don't reveal all your cards at once, guys. It's okay to be this enigma walking through this world. It's okay to remain in that whimsical nature or that fantasy, but as long as you're bringing it down and materializing it. How do you know? From the results that you're getting. Okay? What's working for you and focusing on that. Okay? And getting rid of the stuff that's extraneous and isn't working. Okay? It's a tough conversation to be had, but it's a necessary one. Okay? Yes, right now you're finding it difficult to make some decision that you're probably stuck in. But let me tell you this. You're doing yourself more of a disservice as you're not taking that decision. You get what I mean? Like, why does somebody else come and ask you for something and you so easily give of yourself to that, but you can't even do that for your own decisions and yourself? That says something, man. And I really want to reflect on that too, because that's a really deep, weird people pleaser thing that we have in a lot of our Indian culture. We got to get to the bottom of that and really start to, Jai Shri Ram in this bitch, right? We got to glow up, as people, in the eyes of we never will be, in the eyes of the Western world, whatever, right? It doesn't matter to me. But basically what I'm saying is you can create the life that you want, and it starts with you doing the inner work and moving forward and really knowing yourself better, and anybody else. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Hit that like and subscribe button. Remain the Sovereign Sage. Melt everything with your love. Let's go.